On my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again with another Robinhood portfolio update. This one for the week of August 3rd. Second week in August. Man. Rolling into some healthy dividends. I'm really liking the way that's working out. Before we jump into the conversation, let's go ahead and make sure we hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, I welcome you and invite you and request that you, especially if you've been here more than twice, go ahead and hit that subscribe button at the bottom. Don't forget to hit the bell notification to the right of the subscribe button and turn all notifications on. I promise not to flood your feed, even though this week is a hype week. We're giving all the updates because it's the first week of the month, first full week of the month. We break down my entire financial situation. It is Bag Fortification Friday. Going into Saturday, we will have the Debt Crusher episode. I think if you've been lingering around and wanting to look at and have been enjoying my Debt Crusher episodes because there's been no forward motion, definitely tap in tomorrow because the ball has started rolling downhill. So we're actually getting some forward momentum on that. And yeah, like pretty awesome stuff going on over there. Obviously, we're going to go over this Robinhood portfolio today. For my people who are in the Wolf Pack, I request that you share the video. I request that if you got value out of, if you're getting value out of this, or you get value out of this as we're going through this, please share the video. Let's go ahead and jump over here and see what we're talking about. Get in here. Boom. Get to the right page. So, obviously recording this the evening of August 7th, so you guys will be getting this in the morning. Obviously, we record this before the dividends hit, so I don't have the dividend from Ulti yet, but we start off here because I believe in giving the receipts. I understand everybody's looking for excuses to not let you see their portfolio. Fortunately, the Robinhood portfolio makes it pretty easy. I do show my Charles Schwab portfolio, so I just like to give the context and the receipts so that people can see what's going on and who's on first, you know? Always good to give this before we jump over into the snowball analytics so that way people know that I'm not fluffing my numbers. There's people out there who like to say, well, if you got it, well, I give my receipts weekly, I give my receipts monthly, and then I give the context. So I do got it. So let's go down and do this position breakdown, and we'll talk about that. So first and foremost, we've been with Robinhood for 5 months. I have 5 shares of Robinhood stock. I believe in supporting the platform. Into the good stuff. We've got Ulti with 762.41 shares, and we've got Hui with 12 shares, and I have added a position of open. It's in my moonshots. I'm going to have a moonshots portfolio. Obviously, I have the income strategy down there, but I also have a moonshot watch list now. Open is my first position. Probably going to be the only position for a little bit as far as a moonshot goes. We're in the accumulation phase, so we will be grabbing a bunch of shares, probably about... I'm going to say for my moonshot portfolio, I'm going to put probably $500 to $1,000 into each of these positions. I'm looking at holding them for around 2 years, and we're looking to get probably at least 100%. We'll start taking our money off the table at 100%, but you know, after I get my money off the table, I really don't care because it's all profit after that. But we'll see what that turns into. But we're definitely going for the 100% with the moonshots to get our money out of the game, and then we just run it on the house money, and we'll work on our next position. So Open Door is our first one. We'll see how it does. As far as strategy goes, ulti all day ulti. I'm doing the moonshot buy at the beginning of the month, the same as I'm doing with my Robinhood buys. So pretty much share a Robinhood, and then we'll do probably about $100 into the moonshots. So over the next 5 months, we'll be doing those purchases. Once we get to the point to where we unleash the hounds on the dividend income, we will also have that going for us. I've been trying to ride my margin down a little bit so that way we can like actively deploy. So our goal is to get to 1,000 shares. Once we get to $100 a deal, we'll be able, the cycle will go faster. I think that's kind of one of my pivot points for this small portfolio. We are almost there. Hui, from a strategic standpoint, what we're doing is all the money that comes into the portfolio goes into the ulti position. As ulti pays out its dividend, we use that to buy Hui. And then as Hui pays out its dividend, we use that to refresh back into ulti. Hui is a monthly payer. It's every 4 weeks. So this is kind of like a long, you're building up the Hui position over the month. And when Hui hits every 4 weeks, you get to replenish a little bit extra into the ulti position, and we're jockeying those back and forth. But as money comes in up until when we get to those, till we get ulti to $100 a month, all incoming funds into this portfolio are actually going to be landing in ulti and then going into the wheel cycle. Once we get to $100 roughly a week with ulti, we'll start landing all the money into Hui. And then we'll do Hui until we get to probably, I want to say I want 100 shares, but geez, that's going to be a long trek. A super long trek. Basically, what we're going to want to do is get Hui to the point where we're getting $400 a month. I think that'll be a good metric. And then we'll start another position. That's when we'll bring in How. How comes in at that point. Because then we can waterfall it down. And that's what we're going to do. So those are the positions. We're looking pretty good there. We're going to go ahead and jump over to the Snowball Analytics to give the context on that. Let me see. Did we switch screens? We did not switch screens. So we're going to remove that. Stop that. Jump back in. Share screen. Application window. Now we're going to go ahead and give the context. All right, so the reason we do Snowball Analytics is because it allows us to project and track into the future. This does not have the margin in there, but what we can see is a couple of key things. So our value minus the margin is $5,452.77 with a grand total invested of $5,642.22. They'll be like, oh my God, Reckless Ray Dinero, you're underwater. It's terrible. But you have to look at total profit, which accounts for the income that we've received. We are up 19.5%, having received an income within this portfolio of $1,099.53. Another thing that's important is our passive income percentage. This one's important for me. This is when I talk about portfolio optimization, what I'm looking at. I don't like this below 80. I prefer it as close to 100 or above as possible with acceptable risk on my part. Now, the higher this is, the more risk you're inherently taking. For me, I'm pretty comfortable in my sweet spot so far, at least from the 12 months that I've been doing this on this side of the line, because a lot of people still don't understand. I am not a TradFi guy. I am a crypto bro. I've been in Bitcoin and crypto actively since 2013. So the amount of risk that I'm willing to take is leaps and bounds ahead of what I'm dealing with these products. But from an income perspective, this is an order of magnitude less risky than DeFi. That being said, I feel that my sweet spot within this endeavor sits between 80 and 100%. I think that's the ideal sweet spot. Now, can I get it and ratchet it up to over 100%? Yes, I can. Unfortunately, those numbers appeared during the bull run. And in this portfolio, since it's not crypto focused necessarily, it's kind of based around Robinhood's performance, which I do believe that as a platform for sure, it's going to be the future of finance. Like if once they get bill pay, I might be all in myself. Like I do love my Charles Schwab. I like my big boy brokerage for options plays and all that good stuff. But all the simple stuff, just buy and hold the portfolios, like outside of the options, Robinhood does everything I need. Like I don't mind dollar cost averaging. I know the spreads. You can't get as intricate with it. They're making a little bit of money off you. Like I'm not an active day trader, so I don't care. I mean, honestly, like for the buy and hold, the one caveat is I hate that they pay after hours. I do like that in Charles Schwab, if I have my drip set up, it does it that day. Like I get the money by noon. Like when I get paid out on my dividends, if I'm not tapping margin, I get paid by lunchtime. I can have that money on the way to the bank. But being a Robinhood holder, I'm liking it so far. Like the stock keeps going up, so that's great. It's got a lot of use. I use the platform. I use the Robinhood Gold features. I don't even use all of them. I do use the $1,000 in free money, the margin. What else do I use? I use their card now. That's my new daily driver. We've transitioned over to that since we've started hitting some metrics in here. As we're building this portfolio up, it's going to be the lifestyle portfolio. So we're going to start looking at what targets we're going to have for those numbers, because we're basically setting my different income accounts up, which there's two. There's one for all my core expenditures and one for my lifestyle. And I'm shooting for 2 to 4x over the core expenditures and probably 2x on the lifestyle, because this is an addition to be able to officially classify myself as work optional / early retirement. And yeah, that's kind of the way that I plan things out, because I don't need to spend a lot of money. Pretty happy with my life the way that it is. There's some things that can be tweaked and improved. Got to buy a new car. Obviously you're on the treadmill and you're in the game no matter what, but I'm a firm believer that with 2 to 4x on my core and then 2 to 3x on my lifestyle, which realistically 2, I'll be living pretty good, and I'll be reinvesting most of the money because I won't have to do a whole bunch of stuff that I don't want to. So those are the things that we're looking at. I'm kind of interested in seeing how far back we can peel this 2028 projection for when we hit some of these target metrics. And then let's go take a look at the holdings, which predominantly is just the 2 over here, because this is just tracking the income port of the portfolio. We have our Hui position, which we are up 2.73% for the day, and a total profit of 6.79%, looking great. Our Ulti, which we're still buying, still tight margins here. We're looking at up 0.84 for the day and a total profit of 0.26%, which that's pretty awesome considering that we took this big dip. Obviously, you can see our average cost is 627. We are sitting at 604 of current value, which is pretty awesome considering they pulled the dividend and we've still maintained where we were. That's pretty cool. Total dividend of 522 thus far. That's pretty cool. Looking for those numbers to hit parity. Our Hui, we're sitting strong with that one. Dividend yields at 117.16%, right in the sweet spot. Love it. Ulti also in the sweet spot, 86.35%. They keep throwing those dimes at us. Like, I cannot complain about that, which is why Ulti is the base in pretty much all of my portfolios. As we pay back the loan that we took out against the in-home banking, we will be. That will also be sitting in Ulti. We're just going to pay ourselves back, have that Ulti drip in that weekly income to kind of inchworm it up a little bit. I'm excited about it. So that's kind of where we're sitting. Let me get back over here. That's where we're sitting. That's the outlook. That's where we're at with our portfolio, and I'm really happy about it. It's growing slow, which is a little bit frustrating because I do kind of just want to leverage it to the gills, maybe put 50% margin on it and then just let it buy that down. But there's a cost to rushing, and I know that there's a cost because I've paid it as I've learned and bumped my head through this space. So we're going to keep the margins low. We're getting ready to buy a vehicle, and I would prefer to do that without having to liquidate any of my portfolios. And in order to facilitate that, I've got to have my margins low. So, and or almost paid off, because I would much rather put the portfolio on autopilot for a little bit and be able to just pull out in margin what I need, as opposed to having to liquidate and set myself back and have to rebuild. So we're gonna look at it from that perspective and try and ease our way through these things. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So until next week, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you haven't hit it yet, go ahead and do it now while I'm on my way out. Oh, do I wanna like throw some low in the background? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and hit that like button. If you've been here more than twice, I want to invite you, as we've got this ambient melodic music playing, to hit that subscribe button, because I took the time to look up this music and play it. So that way we have some outro acoustics. Okay? I'm trying to make things better. And in doing so, I'd like for you to watch all my content. And lastly, for those of you, if you've gotten value out of this, go ahead and share the video. Don't be afraid to share the video. We're not trying to get rich over here by ourselves in the wolf pack. We don't bite much, and there's always room for more people. So if you got value out of this, definitely tell somebody, tell your neighbor, tell your friends, turn and tell the person to your left. And till next week, it's been another great episode of our Robinhood portfolio update, and I'm out.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play, man, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more, guys. just what I came for.